Hello, I am Victor. Today we are going to compare integers visually using a number line. An integer is simply a whole number. It can be positive, negative, or zero. No decimals, no fractions, just clean whole numbers. So let us start with our very first reference point is going to be 0 right here. So 0 sits at the right in the middle of our very long number line right here. It is the boundary between, how do I say it? It's like the positive world and the negative world. So everything to the right of 0 is positive here in this number line, and everything to the left is negative. So to the right we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are our positive integers. Notice that we do not write a plus sign in front of them. We will just write something like 1, not plus 1 at all. So we need to think about having to write these. So positive is the default here. To our left, we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, all the way to negative 6. Now, in contrast to this, the negative sign is always written like negative 6. We have the negative sign and 7. That is how it is always written, and this is not optional. You have to write it like this. So here is the absolute first habit that I want you to build. Say it with me. Left is less, right is more. Say it again. Left is less, right is more. Any number further to the right on this line, on this specific line right here, is greater. Any number further to the left is smaller. This rule will never fail you. Memorize it. It's only 6 words. It's gonna be very easy for you. So let us go into our very first example. Let us plot our first number, positive 1. So starting at 0 here, one step to the right. So we have our positive 1. And now let's plot negative 2. Starting at 0, we need to go 2 steps to the left. So negative 1, negative 2. Now, which one is greater? Let us use our habit. Left is less, right is more. Again, left is less, right is more. Positive 1 is to the right of negative 2. If you look at the direction of this, very simple, very clear. So positive 1 is going to be the larger number. How are we going to write this? You may ask. Now we're going to write 1 is larger than negative 2. This wide opening of the symbol right here, you see, points towards the bigger number. We're not talking about the arrow, but we're talking about the opening. We think of this like a hungry mouth eating the larger value. Yeah. We can also flip this, by the way. Let's just erase this. We can also flip this and write it like negative 2 is less than 1. So the arrow will point to the left if it's less, point to the right if it's larger. So the mouth is still eating the 1 here. So it's the same fact, just written from another direction. So that's for our first example. Let me write the answer right here. So 1 is greater than negative 2. Okay, so we have done our first example. Let's go to our second example. Here's where most students can get tripped up. We have, let us compare negative 5 and negative 1. Which is greater? So we have negative 5, negative 1 here. A lot of students may say that, teacher, 5 is bigger than 1. Therefore, negative 5 is bigger than negative 1. This is a lot of the, there are a lot of answers like this, but we use our habit, we use our number line. It will carry us. We don't need to think about like 5 equal. Let's just return back to that. So the number line will prove that this is false. Why? Because let's look at our positions. We have negative 5 here, and we have negative 1. I'm going to delete negative 2 here because that was our last example. And so we're going to be using our habit. Left is less, right is more. So 5, negative 5 is to the left of negative 1. Also, you can also look at the position. Negative 5 is way over here to the left. Negative 1 is much here, closer to 0 right here. So again, use the habit. Left is less, right is more. Very simple, just that. It's going to be, it feels very strange at first because you may go something like, oh teacher, 1 is less than 5. But again, on the number line, position beats size. So being closer to 0 on the negative side means that you are greater. So negative 5 is less than negative 1. This is going to be the most common mistakes in year 7 integers. You remember nothing else from this video, I suggest you remember this example. You remember the habit, and when you're in doubt, just draw it out, really, like draw like the entire out. Okay, so that was a very interesting example with the trap right there. Let us do a full ordering exercise. We need to arrange these 5 numbers from smallest to largest. And again, let's use our habit. Let's use another good habit. When in doubt, repeat after me. When in doubt, draw it out. When in doubt, draw it out. We're going to plot every single number on the number line. Of course, the number line is already drawn, but we need to find these numbers ourselves. So let's find negative 4. Oh, negative 4 right here. Let's find, so we have done negative 4. Let's get rid of negative 4 here. Let's find 3. 3 is here, so we find 3. Get rid of 3. Let's find 0. 0 is here, so get rid of 0. Let's find negative 1. Negative 1 is here. Negative 1. And find 2. 2 is here. So we have plotted all 5 numbers right here for everyone to see. So because our habit, left is less, right is more. We just read from left to right. The order writes itself from the number line. So again, if you're in doubt, write it out, or draw it out, sorry. So negative 4, and then negative 1. We have 0, and then 2, and 3. Very simple. Left is less, right is more. So notice that the 0 is going to sit between the negatives and positives exactly where it should. And because this is from smallest to largest, we are going from the smallest to the largest numbers. We go negative 4 is smaller than negative 1. Negative 1 is smaller than 0. 0 is smaller than 2. 2 is smaller than 3. We would typically write out like the order of integers. So let us recap right here. Today we built a very 2 good habits. First, left is less, right is more. I'm getting pedantic, but you know, it's your go-to rule every time you compare integers. It's really that powerful. And second, when in doubt, draw it out. I haven't really actually typed out the second habit right here, but as you can see, we've used the number line right here. It's very convenient for us. So when in doubt, draw it out. When a comparison feels very confusing, especially with 2 negatives right here, -4, -1, -5, -4, plot them in the number line and let the positions do the thing. Okay, very great. So in this next video, we're going to use this same number line to add integers together using directional arrows, mainly left and right. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.